welcome back. Episode 10, The Parent Trap. Good morning, afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in this wonderful world. We're gonna jump right into it. So we're in episode 10 right now. Episodes 1 through 9, right? It's all cumulative, as I've told you guys almost every episode. So we're climbing that ladder until we reach the top, or we're crossing off the boxes until we reach the end. And I'm thinking that today might be the end. I think I've imparted a lot of knowledge into you guys. I've given you some strategies to kind of look over, to utilize kind of, throughout your ABA process and your journey. Those with kids on the spectrum, those without. I've told you guys ABA is a life hack because it is. It's not only for ABA sessions with our kiddos with comorbidities, but like I said, I can train my dog. I think week 4, I told you I was at a party with my best friend and his children, and I used ABA then. So it's a life hack that you can take with you throughout all facets of life, with your boss, with your significant other, with the customer service agent. You can just use it however you like once you're confident in your skills and what you have in your toolbox. And so today we're going to wrap it up with talking about the real world, the community, generalization. That is my go-to. That is my end game. That is where I drive the nail home, because I believe it is the most important facet of ABA. When we go through ABA or in life, we're preparing our children for their future. We're preparing them to be successful in the future. We're using natural consequences. We're using friends and family support. We're using school teachers. We're using all resources available until that one day our children are 18, 19, and they're flying across the country going to school, or they're going to a new facility or a new job, or they're starting this new endeavor in life. And as parents, we think, okay, have I done enough to prepare them for this next phase of their life? And so that's what I want you guys to think about at this moment. Is I tell you guys always that I go hard in our in-home sessions. I go hard in ABA because I can't hold the child's hand forever. You can't, like I said, be there in their dorm when they're in college, right? We can't be next to them as their manager is talking to them about, their salary, or talking to them about giving them constructive criticism or feedback, right? So we have to do what we can when we can, because we can control those things in home. And so pretty much the real world is going to be everything outside of the home. It's going to be the community. It's going to be the library, the theme park, Dave & Buster's, the restaurant, the grocery store, our jobs, Kohl's, Stater Brothers, everything that we can think of outside of the home is going to be considered the real world or the community. And in those settings, we have to prepare our children for what may come, right? We have to let them know of the society standards in certain aspects. And so I'll give you guys an example. I had a nonverbal client who I think was 20 years old. He lived next door to a Target. He's nonverbal, was, I would say, severely impacted by his diagnosis, lower functioning. And so mom said that sometimes he would elope from the home, go to Target, grab his favorite hot Cheetos, and walk out. Okay, so as an observer or a security guard seeing this individual do that, okay, he's stealing, right? This person is committing a crime. They don't know that this kid has autism, or that he's impacted by his diagnosis, or that he may, not understand society's standards. So what can I do as a parent to train, to teach my child that you cannot go to a store and take an item without paying for it, because then you would go to jail, or then you would be put in handcuffs, right? And so we want to think of the societal standards in each environment that our children are being put into, or that we are putting our children into, right? We can't go to the park and pee in the sand, right? But we can go to the park, find the nearest restroom, and then go use the restroom, right? So what standards are we putting our children into? What can we expect from them, or what is expected from them in that certain setting or environment? And I want you guys to think about that, because when I go to school, I can't undress and put on my pajamas, right? I can't yell and scream at the teacher. I have to, be respectful of the teacher, the aide, the other 10 or 12 students around me. I have to, maybe raise my hand when I want to speak out. I want to, what are the standards? At the restaurant, I can't go back into the kitchen area and take my food. I can't put my hands into the salad bar and put it on my, what are the standards in each specific environment, in each setting, and let's prepare our children for those situations. And the best way to prepare our children for those situations are giving them tools to be socially appropriate is by role playing. And so, and I had another client who was maybe 12 or 13, and different client. I had another client who was maybe, I think we started 18 or 19, and parents wanted to work on him talking to the cashier or the waitress or the waiter and ordering their own food. And so in home, we set up a PlayStation, right? So I'm the server, I'm the cashier, I'm the guy up front. I go, hey Tim, how can I help you today? And Tim would have to tell me, hey, I want a number 5, large Coke, no ice, extra cheesy, whatever it may be. We went through those scenarios time and time again, at least, 2 or 3 times a week. And so when we had that community outing set, when mom was like, all right, let's go to McDonald's and let's see what you got, the kiddo had to put it in practice, right? And so I'm hoping that I prompted him enough, I faded my prompts enough for him to grasp and understand, okay, cool, now let's generalize this over into another setting. Same thing, you can have a script. It's pretty much going to be the same thing, but there's going to be a line behind you. You're going to smell different things. The food is going to be cooking. The lights are going to be brighter. You're going to have a lot more decisions, and it's going to be a lot louder. And so I can't do that in the home, but I can prep him for that in that McDonald's setting or that environment. And funny story, that same kiddo, we had worked on him. He received money for Christmas, and he wanted to buy, I think, some new LeBrons that came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And so we're practicing, and he was less impacted, higher functioning. And I was like, yeah, there's a guy in a striped shirt. We're going to Foot Locker. There's a person that's going to be in a striped shirt. You just go to him, you take the shoe that you want, and you say, hey man, do you have these in a size, 7 or 8? And so we practice this a few times at home, and then we go to the mall, huge mall, a lot of people, a lot of lights, and I go with him, and it's just me and him. Mom kind of ventures off, does her little thing, and I was like, all right, dude, if you want the shoes, go do it. And he was like, what do I do? I was like, you know what to do. We role played it. And so, hesitantly enough, he grabs the shoe and he looks at me. I'm like, go, striped shirt. I'm, giving him a little gesture prompt, striped shirt. I can't help you. I don't work here. So don't quit looking at me, right? And so striped shirt, look for him. Found the guy and he said, hey, size 7. And the guy goes, okay, cool. And he comes back to me and he was like, oh man, that was different. That was weird. And I was like, yeah, it happens, but you did it. And so that let me know that, okay, what we practiced at home, what we did, the times we made mistakes, the times we counted money, the times I didn't say exactly how I felt or how I meant in that situation, all came to fruition at this very moment, right? So that one little skill generalized from home to Foot Locker inside the mall. And so we were able to, get the shoe. He was able to pay. He wasn't the best at math. So, I just reviewed the calculations and I say, hey, the receipt usually tells us, how much we should get back. As long as we have that back, then we're all good. And so that's how we role play. That's how we put things into motion. And that's how we set our kids up for success, because at the end of the day, he was motivated by the shoes. He wanted the shoes. So that natural reinforcement and natural motivation is going to motivate him to use his words with a Foot Locker representative. It's going to motivate him to, do these things because I really want the shoes. There's no other thing that I want at the moment. I have all this money that I got for Christmas. I want to buy something that I want. Okay, cool. So let me do what Mr. Mike and Mom were teaching me, a couple months ago or a few weeks ago, and put it into practice. And so that's how your role playing is going to look. You're going to set up use Monopoly money, make a fake menu, have some fun, get a dry erase board or something, and put number one through 5, Big Mac, cheeseburger, Happy Meal, desserts, have fun, make it I don't know, make it fun, make it interactive, have fun with it, actually make the food maybe, and teach another lesson within that process. But role playing is going to be one of the best tools that we can utilize to help our children in the future, especially when we can't control those different settings. We can set them up for success the best way they know how, but once they get in the game, they got to play. They got to swing the bat, right? They got to make the pitch, throw the ball. They got to do all those things to understand and gain confidence within themselves. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about is behaviors in the community. They're going to happen. We can't avoid them. It is what it is. I wish I could, tell you everything is going to be awesome, everything is going to be all right. But I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago that the kiddo ran away when we were at Trader Joe's, right? And so it happened. But we have to believe in our BIP. We have to believe in our behavior intervention plan. We have to believe in the work that we put in as a team and as parents over 3 months, 6 months, 2 years of therapy or sessions, that what we practiced and what we've been doing is going to work, right? And so people are going to stare. It's going to be embarrassing, and I've been in those situations. And so when parents say, you haven't been in those situations or you can't relate, I have. I've been in a situation where a kiddo's ran up and down the aisle yelling and screaming. And I've had to tell people that he's scared and employees like, hey, it's all good. He just got excited. We're going to play it off. We're going to, it happened, right? No big deal. Everything's under control. I've had situations where I think I told you guys the other week, there's a physical altercation in the community. So, you're going to have to take a breath, step back, redirect, de-escalate the situation, and keep it pushing. All right. There's been incidents where kiddos are yelling and screaming at restaurants. All right. Hey, either we can wait quietly here, I'm going to give you another chance, or we're just going to have to leave. We're going to have to make food at home. Right. And so there's going to be choices that have to be made in the environment. But what I don't want parents, and what I despise or dislike hearing every time I hear it, is parents' sense of normalcy. So they say, oh, we can't go out as a family because he acts this way at the restaurant. Or, I can't even go to Kohl's because, he grabs and pulls everything and he's humming and, he's yelling and screaming the whole time. Or he's engaging in these sensory or these vocal stereotypy. And it's too loud and everybody looks at us. As you guys know, my BCBA mind, I'm like, okay, that's not normal. I want you guys to be a regular functioning family, whatever regular means to you or normal means to you. And I want to cross that off our box. And so, for instance, same thing, I told you guys, or I haven't told you guys this one, but I had a kiddo who was highly impacted, and mom, I think he was maybe 17 or 16. He was maybe 5, 7, and mom still used maybe like a grown-up stroller or wheelchair in all kind of public situations. And so first thing, I'm like, hey mom, can he walk? Are there any, gross motor issues or abilities? Because I've seen him we've walked up and down the block, at school, I'm sure you don't take the stroller, with you, right? She's like, no, they don't use it. And she was like, I just have it in the car just in case. And I was like, all right, guess what? And I'm sure you guys can guess what I told her. I said, leave the stroller at home. We're not taking it. That's not even an option. Like I told you guys a few weeks ago, when Caesar got off the boat, he burned the ships and told his army, hey, there's no turning back. There's no way back. So we're going to put all our effort into the situation that's ahead of us because there is no plan B. And so I told mom, he's 16 years old. We're not pushing a teenager in a stroller. And she said, but it's hard. And I said, okay, well, that's why I'm here. So let's figure it out. And so same thing, I set a date. Hey, let's go to Kohl's next week. Are you down for that? You said he has a lot of issues there. I want to model the behavior. I want to see what you're actually talking to me about. And so that day came. The day approached. It was even rough getting out the car, right? He took his shoes off, started throwing them. So, well, 5-10 minutes, we're putting his shoes on, tying the laces. All right, no stroller, let's do it. So literally, I lock his arm inside of mine and, like we're on a date. So we're walking through the mall, he's closing his eyes, he's kind of humming really loudly and yelling, and I tell mom, hey, we're not gonna be in here for long. We're gonna do one lap. I'm gonna have you do one lap and then we're leaving. And so I did my lap, people are staring, it is what it is. I'm holding his hand, tapping his arm. Hey dude, you're doing great. Everything is good. Hey, I like how you're walking. You're doing a great job right now. We're almost done. Hey, we're gonna leave here in a second. You can get blah, blah, blah once we get back home. Just giving constant reinforcement, letting him know that he's doing what's appropriate. He's engaging in appropriate social behavior, right? And so I'm giving him those prompts. I'm letting him know like, hey man, you're doing great. So we did one lap, a little vocal protest, and I told mom, hey, do exactly what I did. Take his hand, grab his hand, whatever you would kind of do regularly. Not what you would do regularly, but what I did, and I want you to do another lap. And we can go on the opposite side of the store or go, a different way. And so mom did that. I'm kind of walking with little sisters here and there, doing this and that. And mom's doing the same thing. Hey, good job. Good job, man. I like how you're walking. We're almost done. And so that took maybe 10 minutes and then we walked out of the store. We didn't buy anything. We didn't pick up anything, but that gave mom the confidence to, okay, I can do this. Mike showed me how to do it and what to do in those situations. And I'm going to do that next week. And I tell parents, and I've given you guys an outline, is that there's 4 steps that I want you guys to do and think about to increase your success in the community. And that first step is to pick a place. Pick a place that maybe you frequent often, that you're there maybe once or twice a month or once a week. I don't know, how often you guys want to go out or do go out or go to the grocery store or do these things. I want you to pick a place and go there regularly. And that's the first step. The second step is I want you guys to plan ahead and focus on your time constraints, right? And so once you have a plan, the plan is to, okay, we're going to go to Stater Brothers today and we're going to get bread, peanut butter, and jelly, and that's it. And so we know our kiddo has trouble in the grocery store, so I'm not going to bring out my Thanksgiving list of items that I need to give and struggle that whole time. No, I'm going to say, hey, John, hey, we're gonna do 3 things today, and I want you to help me push the cart, right? So let's give him an activity to do instead of running up and down the aisles, knocking everything off the shelves, doing this and doing that. Hey, no, let's give him something to keep him busy, right? Let's arrange the environment in such a way where we can decrease the likelihood of a negative behavior occurring. And so, hey, you're gonna push the cart, and then mom's gonna get you that bread that you love, the strawberry jelly this time, and we're gonna get the peanut butter with the nuts in it. And that's it. That takes 5 minutes, maybe? And so now Johnny knows, okay, cool, mom's not gonna drag me along for these 1 hour, 45-minute stints at the store. So next time, maybe we're going to do, peanut butter, jelly, bread, and let's do some milk. Let's add a 4th option, right? Instead of 5 to 10 minutes, it might take, 7 to 12 minutes. And so we're slowly increasing that time in an environment that used to be difficult, and we're taking baby steps, right? We're not gonna say, hey, I have trouble in the grocery store, and so hey, let's go back tomorrow and we're going to do Thanksgiving list again. No, that's not setting you up for success, and that's not setting your children up for success. So when you do those things, make it short and make it quick. Hey, let's go in, let's get a pack of gum really quick and then walk out. Hey, if you do good, I'll get you a Gatorade as well too. Okay, cool. Next time, let's go get 1, 2, 3, let's go get 6 items. And if you do well, I'll give you a Gatorade and maybe a small bag of chips, right? So let's incentivize, let's reinforce, let's motivate our kiddos in those areas, right? We want to plan ahead, right? I want you guys to think about worst case scenarios as well too on the opposite side of things. What could go wrong? So if I have a kiddo that has sensory issues and I'm going into a store that's loud and the lights are bright, then maybe I'll bring glasses and headphones. Maybe I'll bring his iPad. Maybe I'll pack snacks just in case he gets a little rowdy, or in case he starts yelling or screaming or something, where I can, provide him with some reinforcement, or I can provide him with some redirection or instruction in that situation to decrease the likelihood of that behavior even occurring. And so I tell parents, okay, those are your first two steps, right? You want to frequent a place regularly. You want to plan ahead, think of the worst case scenarios, and also work on your time constraints, right? And then the last one is execute. We can make a plan. We can have a plan of action. We can say, okay, cool, next week I'm going to do this, but until you do it, it won't be meaningful. Until you do it, it won't be impactful. So execute. We can talk all this and say, I want this for my child, I want this and want this, but if you don't put them in those situations, how are they going to learn? How are we going to get feedback on what they need instruction with? And so you guys need to execute if you're serious about it, right? And that's what I tell parents, until you're serious about it, until you've had enough, is the point at which, you're going to make that change. And that's why I love talking to parents that are you can quote unquote in crisis, because they're at the bottom. Because they're at the bottom, the only way we can go is up. So they're going to listen to me. They're going to trust what I'm saying, and they're going to at least try it. Versus the parents who are kind of like, okay, cool, you guys are here. I might listen, I might do this, I might do that. And so what I say kind of goes in one ear, out the other. And so when I come in 2 or 3 weeks and check in and you haven't done anything, that lets me know you're buying on the material. That lets me know how serious you are with this big picture that you told me day one. How serious are you with that goal if you haven't done what we've asked you to do in that situation? Right? And so the parents at the bottom, they're saying, okay, cool, execute. Okay, hey, Mike, hey, what time? I'm going to give you feedback as soon as we leave. And then we're going to try it again next week. That's music to my ears, right? Because they know their goal, they know their vision, and they're going to do whatever it takes to get them there. They're fed up, they're tired, they're exhausted, and they want a resolution. And so when I give a solution to their problem, they're much more likely to do it because they have no other option. And so execution is huge. Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, says execution is worshiped, right? And so execution in whatever arena or whatever field is going to be highly sought out, right? It is going to be top tier because you're doing what you're saying. You're meaning what you say in that moment. You're following through with the instruction, no matter the difficulty that comes in front of you, no matter the hardships that happen, no matter, this excuse that can pop up, or this, trial or tribulation that might happen. You're going to execute the plan because when you said it, you meant it. So let's get it done and let's do it. Right, and then the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is social skills groups, right? I want you guys to look out resources in your community. Some ABA providers also provide social skills programs for your children. And so if we want to increase their social skills, if we want to increase their, potential in the community settings, not only do they have school, but they also have social skills group, where I know some social skills group, they go out into the community as a whole. Right, so there's maybe 5 or 10 or 15 kids, and they go to, there's a place in California called Purple Easel, I think. And so all the kiddos, we rent out a room and they paint with the instructor. Or we go to Sky Zone, where they jump on trampolines for 30 minutes or an hour. We'll take them to a restaurant, and we'll order food, and we'll all have food as a group. Right, we'll do yoga together, kickboxing together. We'll do all these things to build those social skills. So they're gaining input from peers, same age peers, and older and younger peers on, hey, what's appropriate in this, scenario? Can I pull my pants down? No, I don't see my friends doing it. Okay, so let me maybe go to the bathroom, or let me not do that. Do I see my friends fighting or pushing or hitting each other? No, no one's doing that, and no one's doing it to me. So hey, maybe I shouldn't be doing that to my friends. Right, and I tell parents the school is one of our greatest equalizers when it comes to social skills, right? And I tell parents all the time, and it's funny, like you're gonna get two things with school, public school, private school, whatever it is, right? And that's one of our biggest teachers, no pun intended. But at school, I learned how to curse. I learned how to curse good at school, but I also learned how to make friendships, lifelong friendships. Right, so you got to take the good with the bad in those situations where, okay, cool, I didn't curse in front of my parents until I was older, right? I didn't curse, in family settings in my home, but once I got out of that home, I let it fly Me and my boys are talking about wrestling. We're talking about football. We're talking sports. We're doing this, and this. I'm a sailor when it comes to cursing. But then, like I said, on the other end, I've had friends for 20 years, 25 years. My longest friend, my best friend, shout out to Edward Martinez. We've been friends since 1998, right? And I talk to him weekly. And so I learned the value of a friendship. I learned, common ground. I learned conversation skills. I learned reciprocation. I learned, different things from him in certain situations where if I wasn't in school or if I wasn't in that social setting, I would have never known, right? So we have to take the good with the bad in those situations. And the social skills group that you look out for, the social skills group that your son or daughter might be, might want to put them into, understand that. Sometimes when we put our kiddos into school, maybe that first 2 weeks, parents are like, hey, he's coming back and he's starting to bite himself. He's never done that before. And the first thing I ask, okay, cool, what's changed? Nothing's changed in the home. Okay, what's changed at school? Oh, well, it's his first year in school. Okay, cool. Is there a biter that's in, his classroom? And parents are like, oh, well, I don't know. Okay, well, find that out because your kiddo is getting it from somewhere, right? She's just not randomly biting her arm for no reason. She's maybe seeing that behavior modeled, and that behavior being modeled at school could be generalizing over to her, right? She sees that when the kiddo bites his arm at school, all the teachers run to attend to him. Okay, cool. I want some attention, so let me bite my arm and see if I can get that same response, right? So just be cautious, right? Take the good with the bad. And then the last thing I want to actually tell you guys is I want you guys to research these three individuals for me. And this is where I really drive the nail home is it's all cumulative. We started from the bottom and now we're here, right? Aubrey Graham's one of his songs, right? Started from the bottom, now we here. And so we started at week 1 where we're working on parents. We're working on yourself. We're working on your expectations. We're working on realities, capabilities, potential. And now we're at the point where we're generalizing and socializing and working on these skills in a different environment. And so this comes to head because, and I'm going to get dark here and it's going to go to the negative side. And like I said, this past maybe month is that people don't care that our kiddos have autism. They don't care they have comorbidities, sensory processing disorder, epilepsy. They don't care. Our kiddos aren't walking around with a badge or a plaque or a shirt, every day that says I have autism, treat me differently. So I want to go hard in home. I want to prepare them for the real world where the people aren't going to understand my condition or aren't going to understand how I feel or aren't going to understand how hard it is for me to express myself. Because when it gets dark quick. And so these three individuals here, I want you guys to research and look at because this could be this is a reality. For some parents, this happened. And so I want you guys to look up Charles Kinsey. That's a young man and a therapist that was in Florida. I want you guys to look up Lyndon Cameron. And that's an incident that happened in Utah. And the last one I want you guys to look up is Kenneth French. Kenneth French is close to home. It was probably 10 miles away out here in Corona, California. And it was tragic. So I want you guys to look up that information and understand that it's real. It's real out here. It's not for play. We can't shelter our children forever. We can't baby our children forever. We can't coddle. We want to, right? Need verse 1. I want to do this. I want to do this. But do you need to do that? No, you don't. So let our children fly, right? Let them run. Let them do the things. Let the natural consequences come into play. Research those last three for you guys, and I think it'll all make sense from why I went so hard week 1 or week 0, whatever you guys want to call it, and why how we've come here, right? It's been 3 months every Wednesday, so I appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, it's come to an end here where now it's all about application. It's all about doing what you said. It's all about executing the vision that you had once you started ABA services. It's about, meaning what you say. It's about mending the relationship, not only with your significant other, if you have one, but mending the relationship with your child. I know a lot of you on here may be exhausted and tired, and these 20 to 30 minutes may be too long, but you piece it together. You make it happen because the information that I'm giving you is useful. And so I appreciate that down to my core. And great thing that it is on YouTube because you guys can pause, rewind, go back, review. And then make sure you leave some comments or questions if needed. You know, I want the best for you guys. I want the best for your family, because like I said, those three incidents, or those three individuals that I mentioned, it could turn tragic really quickly. And I explained last week or 2 weeks ago about the adults that wanted to fight my client who was on the spectrum, who was nonverbal, over a shoulder bump. Luckily, if I was there, so luckily I put myself in between and redirected the situation. But it's real out here, and so I appreciate you guys. ABA is the number one life hack. I believe in it. It's principles. We just have to make it make sense, right? And hopefully I did that, you guys, these past 3 months. Every Wednesday, you guys got useful information. That's it. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. TheParentTrap.net. If you guys need more information, private consultations, I'm on there. The Parent Trap LLC. That's my Instagram handle. I'm there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, posting content, material, all the stuff you guys need just to keep the momentum going. So, yeah, well, that's it. I'm trying to remember everything these past 3 months. I hope I made it make sense. I hope I kept it in layman's terms. I hope you guys got what you needed. And I hope you guys just rock out. And the last thing I'll tell you guys is that I don't expect perfection, but be consistent if you want that change, if you're serious about it, right? So that's it, man. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you when I see you, and thank you for this along this journey.